Let's go! All right, hold up. I gotta switch scenes.
It's out.
I gotta switch scenes. Come on! Let's go, baby! Come on! Let's go, boys! Come on! Come on, chat. Come on, chat! Oh my God. Yo, listen, everybody in here, man, I just want to say thank you, bro. Thank you. Let's fucking get it. Hey, super grateful. Shout out 100 Thieves. They've been nothing but great. I'm excited to work with them. We got a lot to prove this year, bro. We got a lot to prove. I'm locked the fuck in. God is good, man. God is good. I'm giving everything these next 6 months, man. From now to World Series of Warzone, bro, everything. YouTube, what is going on? In today's video, guys, we can finally announce, or as you guys can tell, we have officially joined 100 Thieves Warzone. Now, in today's video, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about how, the process of how we joined 100 Thieves, the team itself with Blast, Gabe, Skull, and myself, and then also kind of talk about our goals this year, what we have planned, how I come in as a coach and kind of help these guys play at the highest level, and also, what I have to offer as well. But before we jump into that, if you guys are new here, I would really appreciate it if you guys like the video. Subscribe to the channel with your post notifications on, and also comment down below. Would really mean a lot to me. And guys, we have so much coaching content. If you guys are here for casual, pubs, trying to get better, trying to get more wins, trying to get more kills. If you guys want to go up ranked, SR, how to get more wins and ranked, how to be a better team, other things like that. And then also at the highest level, we'll kind of be doing breakdowns of gameplay from big tournaments, events, and stuff like that. So we got so much coaching content and so much, just kind of commentary content coming up. All right, so starting off, guys, as most of you guys know, if you guys follow any kind of the esports gaming side of things, Esports World Cup has been a massive opportunity for especially the Warzone side of things. Other games, just kind of generally talk about it and touch on a little bit. Other games that have leagues, for example, Dota, League, CSGO, Halo, CDL, they all have like these sanctioned leagues that are structured and stuff like that. Unfortunately for Warzone, we don't have a league. We do have a lot of competitive events. So like, for example, this week there's a $50,000 tournament, but it is not a competitively structured league, which is why Esports World Cup has been absolutely amazing for the Warzone side of things, and we're very, very grateful. I could continue to kind of talk about the reasons as to why we chose 100 Thieves, but I'll kind of give you guys some insight, on kind of just the process and stuff like that. So, obviously with Esports World Cup being announced, rosters are currently being fielded. There's like 40 different esports clubs, including like FaZe, Vitality, Koi, Falcons, Virtus Pro. There are just so many teams, and a lot of rosters are actually already being announced for Warzone, which is super exciting. Warzone is, I believe in it as a competitive esport. Obviously we don't have an official league backing it up, but there is so much potential for competitive Warzone, which is why Esports World Cup has just kind of opened up many doors. So yeah, like I said, the boys and I are super excited, and that's when I'll kind of get into my next point of kind of how this roster formed, and how, we're going to be moving forward. For those that do kind of follow the competitive side of Warzone, Skullface was playing with Nate Dogg and Raul earlier this year, and those two kind of split, which led Skullface to find a new roster, and he ended up joining Gabe and Blast. And for those of you guys don't know, Blast is honestly one of the most decorated, like one of the most experienced players in the Warzone space. Warzone doesn't really have a lot of experienced competitors in esports. For example, we have Huskers that came from Apex. We have Tommy, CDL, rated from the CDL. We have Blast from the CDL. And a lot of Warzone competitors kind of started on Warzone. Even Skullface, for example, and Gabe, they both started on Warzone, right? So it's just really nice to have somebody like Blast who's kind of like that leader. He's played at the highest level at another game, so he understands what it really takes to be a competitor at the highest level. Now, talking a little bit about Gabe, if you guys don't know Gabe is honestly one of the most talented players I've ever seen in Warzone. He has so much potential. The fact that he's only 19, he placed 5th at World Series of Warzone last year on LAN. In his first year competing is absolutely insane, and just kind of like another testament to the kind of player that he is. He is one of the most sought after rookies, basically in the space, and he is such a talent. I'm very excited to kind of get to work with him, because the truth is, regardless of how good he is and how great he's been, being that young, he has so much more to learn, which is like insane to think about, because his talent right now where he's at is incredibly high. So the fact that he has so much more to learn and get better at is super exciting for me, especially, as someone, I'm a total nerd, man. I love watching games and just kind of seeing like what people and players and teams can do better. So the fact that I get to work with somebody like Gabe is just super exciting. As most of you guys know, now talking about a little bit about Skullface. Skullface has kind of been like the X factor on a lot of rosters he's been on. He's won, I think well over 300,000 in Warzone specifically. Solo YOLO champ on LAN. Guy placed 2nd at EWC last year. Just a super talented player and has always shown up in the big tournaments. So just kind of like to balance it out and kind of talk about the team as a whole. It's just a very balanced roster, right? We have Blast kind of leading him. We have Gabe as the entry fragger, and we kind of have Skullface that kind of balances out and is like that co-IGL anchor support role with Rasim. So I'm super excited to be alongside these guys and, you know, making this team a championship roster. You know, like I said, all these guys are super talented, and I'm just very excited to kind of get to work. Last but definitely not least, you know, kind of want to talk about a little bit about, you know, our goals as a team this year. So obviously, you know, winning is basically everything. We want to win everything. We're gonna be playing the scrims basically to practice, right? So we don't care about winning scrims. We just care about getting better at the little things. We're gonna be trying a lot of new things. So if you guys are watching scrims, if you guys are actively watching the scrims, and you guys see us doing some like weird stuff just to try it out, just know we're just trying things. Scrims are for practice, and I think that's like something that a lot of teams kind of just miss. They play scrims, you know, to win, right? But the scrims never play how the big tournaments play. You know, they're practice for a reason, and a lot of players don't take them as seriously as they would a big tournament. So a lot of things that we're going to be doing are just going to be playing to practice for the big events rather than playing to win the scrims. Kind of like a different mindset, I know. And you know, a lot of people think like, oh my gosh, they're winning scrims, that means they're going to be doing great at the big events. But we saw that, or we do see that constantly, you know, with a lot of teams that did well in scrims last year. You know, I won't call out any specific teams, and then they went to World Series of Warzone, they didn't do great. So yeah, that's kind of our thing right now. It's just practicing with intent, watching a lot of VODs, you know, reviewing and stuff, and just kind of like building a foundation and a structure for how this team is going to be successful. We're just very excited, man. And those are kind of just our goals. We just want to win, especially EWC and World Series of Warzone. Anytime you get to play on LAN, it's a big deal, right? So EWC is very important, especially for the club championship points. You know, we want to represent 100 Thieves well, and we want to bring back a championship. So not only do we, you know, get a championship under 100 Thieves, but we also get them some of those club championship points. So super excited, man, especially for Esports World Cup, and just gonna see, you know, where the future goes. Kind of wrap things up. You know, I want to say, first of all, if you guys are new here, it means a lot. You know, thank you guys so much. I know all the 100 Thieves fans, LA Thieves fans have been showing mad love on Twitter and everything with our announcement. So if you guys are new here, it means the world to me. Thank you guys so much. And I just cannot wait to kind of get to work. And also tons of coaching content coming out. So if you guys have questions, please put them down below. I'm an open book. I would love to hear your guys' questions, you know, about like kind of like my role in the team, how we're going to develop, you know, the players. Even if you guys have any questions about the players, I would love to hear that. But yeah, that's going to be all for the video. And if you guys are new here, again, I would really appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, through post notifications on, and also comment down below. See you guys in the next one. Peace, peace, peace.